The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to Talk Live Paranormal. I am Mr. Bill, and tonight I would have Shannon with me, but again, she's dealing with a sick child. So I got Mr. Jake on the line with me. Jake, you there?
Sure am.
Maybe he's hiding. So, first of all, we want to start off this like we start every one of our shows, saying a big Happy New Year and a thank you out there to all of the men and women serving in the armed forces around the world, serving our great country. We know what you guys do each and every day, and we thank you very much for everything that you do. Please be safe. Please come home to your families. That's all we want you to do, is come home safe. Thank you very much for your service. So tonight, we're going to jump right into it. It's a new year, new investigations coming up, new locations, new everything, new people to hunt with. We got a couple things in the background coming in that we're going to be going through. But tonight I really wanted to focus on the safety part of it. One of the biggest things of being safe. Not only safe spiritually, but safe physically and safe legally. One of the big things that I've said this a million times, make sure you have permission to go into this location that you want to do, to be able to do your investigation. You do not want to go into a location and be there and all of a sudden be facing down the barrel of a gun because there's a cop there because somebody didn't know you were going to be there, and you ended up getting arrested. That's one of the biggest things. That's the first step of being safe. That's even prior to your investigation. Go and make sure that people know you're going to do what you're going to do. Have those permissions. Have this stuff being safe. But then let's talk about the physical and spiritual side of this. One of the big things that I've seen a lot of people do is come in and just go, for lack of better terms, they go balls to the walls. They run in thinking they're gonna discover a new world. First of all, there's some things that you should honestly do. Jake, jump in here whenever you want to, but there's some easy steps that you should possibly do before you even think about starting an investigation. One of the easiest ones is right in the very beginning. Before you enter a location, before you start playing with any kind of equipment, before you start asking questions, before you go in, take 5 or 10 minutes and kind of work yourself through a really easy meditation. The easiest one is you imagine a powerful white light encircling your head and moving down the length of your body all the way to your feet. Imagine that this light is expanding into a bubble or an aura of protection that moves with you as you go throughout your night and throughout everything you do. If you're a spiritual or a religious person, you can imagine this protection as a light, as a gift from that extension of your higher power. If you're not religious, it's more significant for you to imagine the light is surrounding you as a pure, positive energy, an extension of your own personal power and goodness. There's some you can add additional layers of protection. You might find that while you're doing meditations, positive entities are attracted to this energy that you put off. If you put this white light around you, positive energies will attract to you and take comfort in it. It's kind of believed in this, that spirits cannot see man-made light, but they can easily see candlelight and the light of energy that comes from your warm human aura. that you put off. If you're putting this white light off of you, of protection and light and love, and this white powerful light, they can see that, and a lot of times they will be attracted to you. You can take it to the next step. You take this meditation to a step further and imagine a layer of mirrors that are surrounding you. In addition to that white light, the mirrors reflect back into the world. They reflect that light. This allows you to have a more powerful, positive influence on the environment while you're protecting you from being drained or being attacked. Meditation is a strong thing. Meditation can actually work very well for you. And, sometimes, even if you're having a bad day at work, that little bit of meditation, that just imagining that light, sometimes can change how your day goes. Start off with that day, that meaning, every day. Put that white light, a bubble, or that white bubble of light and love around you, and see if that helps you out throughout your day. Not just when you're out investigating. I think if more people were to put off that positive energy, the world would be a whole lot better place. The next thing I kind of want to talk about is having some sort of a protection in your hand or on you at all times while you're doing it. You'll see a lot of mediums, a lot of sensitives, a lot of clairvoyance. I'm going to use the big term, they use talismans. And talismans, honestly, are kind of almost anything from crosses to religious medals. Holy water is considered a talisman. Medicine bags filled with the sacred herbs and stones. Indigenous people from around the world have used those for thousands of years. Use medicine bags to help protect them. They wear them. They're there with them. A lot of them carry stones, like crystals or black tremaline. I can't talk. Sorry. They're used to banish negativity and charge the environment with positive energy. They kind of, it helps you. I, for one, I have the stones that I have. Some of them are given to me by great friends. Some of them I picked them up and they're there for me. You can feel it. I also have a quite large cross tattooed on my chest. That's another story, but it's my protection. It's not all the same talismans or protections are gonna be what's right for you, may not be right for me. You kind of have to figure out what works with you and what's good for you. And then you need that. That's the first two things you need to do that meditation, and then you need to have those talismans. You have something to protect you. But then there's a really big one, and I know that there's a lot of places out there that push this. There's some places that don't care. They don't worry about it. Go ahead and do whatever you want to. But there's a level of respect you need to show. The golden rule even applies in the spirit world. Be respectful. When you're engaging in a communication with spirits, be respectful. Many paranormal groups use heckling to rouse spirits. This is a really good, effective method to stir things up, but it usually brings about tension you don't want. If you stir something up, be prepared for what might happen. We, as through Ghost Hunts USA or Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, we try to be as respectful as possible. Do things in the most respectful way we can. I'm not all about the yelling and screaming. Now, don't get me wrong. We do get loud. Some of us get louder than others. Like Jake. He's loud. He's really loud. Wow, I didn't get anything on that one. But don't use heckling. Especially if you're taking other people with you, you're putting yourself and other people in harm. You start heckling, you don't know what you're going to get. Now, am I saying don't use a Ouija board? Don't use, the Phasma box. Don't use the spirit box. No, I'm not saying that. but there's ways to do it respectfully, ways that you can try to make contact and you can talk without having to be, pardon my language, an asshole about it. You know, getting out there and jumping on people and just getting in their brain and it's not always going to work. And it's not always going to bring about what you're hoping that comes about. We've seen people come into the hunts where they're disrespectful, they're loud, they're obnoxious, they don't care, they're just doing what they're going to do. Well, not only is it disrespectful to the location you're at, not only is it disrespectful to the spirits, but it's disrespectful to the other people there. There's a lot of places that will actually kick you out for being disrespectful. I know the Missouri State Pen has a really strong rule on that. They'll let you go to a certain extent, but you start pushing too hard, you're done. You're leaving. And I've seen them do it. I've seen them put people out. And that's the rules of that location. You also, that's the next one. You may have the permissions. You may have your talismans. You may have done your meditation. But there's rules. There's rules in every home. And I call them homes because almost every one of these places we go to, someone lived there. It was someone's home. Whether it's the Beatty Mansion, whether it's McIntyre Villa, whether it's the Sally House, whether it's the Missouri State Penitentiary, whether it's in Gettysburg, whether it's up at Nopeman Sanatorium in Duluth, Minnesota, Farrar School here in Iowa, Edinburgh here in Iowa. That was somebody's home. Be respectful. You don't know exactly what they went through there. If they passed away in that location, then you know what? You need to take a step back on yourself every now and then, and sometimes take a good look inside too. Because if you come into a hunt and you're upset and you're mad or it's cold for everybody. If it's cold, it's cold. It's hot, it's hot. There's nothing we can do about the weather, especially in these locations that don't have any heat. Those are locations where people just, you know what? There's not much we can do about it. But you've got to be respectful. Respect is probably the number one piece of the game. And as long as you're respectful, as long as you've got your talismans and you've got your cleansing, the next step I say is plan for the worst. Plan for whatever. Let me take a step back here. Plan for the worst, but clear your mind of all expectations. Don't come into a location saying, I'm going to get me a ghost. I'm going to find this. I'm going to do this. And they're going to show me. And I'm going to get answers. And I'm going to do this. Because you know what? We don't set up anything. I don't know how to set something up if I wanted to. We can't pay them. We can't pay these spirits that, that are there. I wouldn't know how. Do I write a bounce check? Do I pay it with ghost money like Bitcoins? I don't know. It's not something that, we would know how to do. But plan for the worst. Plan for the whole thing. If you're going with a group of people, and say you go and you're going to be there with a medium, or you're going to do a reading during your investigation, whether it's before, during, or after, reach out to anyone that you have there. Talk with anyone there. Plan for it. Talk to the medium. Talk to a mentor. Talk to your team. Make sure that everyone knows whether that white light that you guys are all putting off to protect you, does anybody feel like it's been compromised? We don't want anybody taking anything home with them. Several people that have been on here on our Facebook Live have talked about how they went to a hunt and they're positive something came home with them. I hope not. I hope nothing comes home with anybody. I hope you come home to your families and to wherever you're at, or to your loved ones or your people you work with, whether you care about them or not, and nothing follows you. We've been followed? I'm positive we have. I'm positive. I know Jake's had it follow. Some things follow him home too. I know that Shannon's had things follow her home. You have to plan for that. You have to know. You have to know what your red flags are when things are just not going right. You agree, Jake?
Absolutely. And usually, when you get to that point where things are going maybe a way that you don't want them to, listen, or maybe not listen is the right way, but to say this, but your body will let you know, because that's when you start relying on your instincts as opposed to your conscious thoughts. And those are things that you need to listen to, because you're more in tune to the environment than you really think you are. And so if you are in a situation and you get the gut feeling that something is just not right, then take that as a message to back off, regroup, maybe move to a different area. You can do that meditation and get that white light going again, because chances are you're feeling that way for a reason.
Agreed. 100% agreed. There's just so many times when people don't listen to what they're feeling. They don't listen to their own personal feelings, how they feel inside, or they don't listen to their own team members or the groups of people they're with. You may have one person that's going, I don't want to go in there. I don't feel, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. And they may be saying it out loud, but the rest of the group is poking and prodding them. Come on, we're going. You know what? There's probably a reason that person is saying they don't want to go in. This doesn't feel right and we need to get out of this situation. Then now you've planned for the worst. You've done your meditation. You've got your talismans and stuff. Excuse me. Sorry. But there's also one other thing you can do, and that's call it cleaning house. You need to set up the boundaries around your own home or your property that allows you to lead a normal life outside of where you're doing your investigations. Spirits, whether they're bad or good, draw from your energy. It's not advisable to allow any spirits to dwell into your dwelling, in your home, to where you live or to where your families are. You must cleanse your house of spiritual energy. But if you're living with people, or you're staying with someone, or you're going to do an investigation, we know this from firsthand, and I'm going to say it, the Beatty Mansion in St. Joseph, Missouri, we had someone there that with their whole reason for being there was to cleanse it. Was to cleanse it and get rid of all the spirits that are there. You should never, ever, ever try to cleanse or bless a dwelling or a person or someone or where you're at without having that permission of the location. Now think about it. There's two reasons for that. Number one, if you don't know what you're doing during a cleansing or during a blessing, you can mess it up. You can make it bad. You can make it worse than it already was. And also, if it's a location that people are coming to do over and over again, there's a reason people that own it want them there, them spirits there. It's their livelihood. Think about it, folks. You're messing with someone else's livelihood. This may be their income. Now, I know there's a lot of locations that are 100% all about that ching, that almighty dollar. That's all they want, and that's the reason they do it. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of paranormal teams. There's a lot of locations out there. That's all they're about. If you are asking for help in your home, your place of business, and the team that you tried to bring in says it'll cost you X amount of dollars, find another team. Because true paranormal investigators and spirit hunters and people that do this do not charge to cleanse a location or to help out a location. You're having trouble with your kids because they can't sleep, or they're hearing things, or they're seeing things, or people are getting scratched or wake up with bruises or anything, and they reach out, I need your help, and you charge for it. My eyes, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. You shouldn't charge for this. If you have the ability to make someone's life better, you should do it. You should just do it. That's what's wrong. One of the things I believe is wrong right now is nobody out there wants to help anybody anymore. So you can't go in and cleanse and without the client's permission. Do not try to cross over spirits without speaking to your clients too. You may again cause more of a problem. There's all sorts of little things out there. There's a lot of things in the world that we don't know about. There's a lot of things paranormal-wise that we're all still investigating. We're trying to figure out. We're trying to look at the bigger picture, not just look down this narrow path of, this is what I'm going to do to help you. You do an investigation or you do something in your own home and you find out something's there, make sure if you're going to cleanse that thing, you're going to do a blessing on the dwelling or even on a person. Again, make sure you know what you're doing. I'm not going to lie. I've been part of them where I thought I knew what I was doing. Found out later we were wrong. We're learning. It's a learning thing. We've got in touch with several people that have done this for a long time, and they've taught us the right way to do it. You cannot just jump in there and think, I'm going to help them. Because guess what? You may cause more issue than you may help. Crossing people over, the gentleman that was with us in the Beatty Mansion that was there to just cross everybody over. I don't know. There was just something that wasn't right with that. First of all, he was trying to cross over a spirit that he knew nothing about. He knew nothing about the building. He just knew that he was going to come there and cross everybody over. Send them all home. Maybe they were home. Some of us believe that depending on how you look at it, maybe this is home. Maybe this is where we're all supposed to be all the time. And the spirits are out there just waiting for a new place to go. Some people believe that. I don't. I don't know what's out there. I don't know what's on the other side. I know one day I'm going to have to face it. And one day I'll be looked at and have to go face to face with it and answer for a lot of things. But you know what? It's going to be what I have to do. It's what we all have to do. There's only two guarantees in life. Birth and death. Why have you ever looked on a headstone? Just two dates. Doesn't say Bill the paranormal hunter went here, went there, here, did this, fought in the army, blah, 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 did this, was all over the world, did this, and this. Got a birth date, and a dash, and an end date. Keep yourself safe. Big pieces of it. Keep yourself safe when you're on a hunt. Know what to do before. Know what to do afterwards. Do you do a meditation afterwards when you're done? To bring that white light, make sure that white light is covering you and pushing everything away that could have been bad, and everything's nice and firm and you're good with yourself. Do you do that? You need to. You don't want to take anything home. And if you take something home, if something you think someone followed or something has attached to you and went home with you, do you know what to do? Those are things. I don't want to discourage anybody from doing this because I'm not a professional. I'm still learning. Like they say, practicing doctor. Well, when are the doctors going to get it right? Because I'm still practicing ghost hunting. The doctors aren't going to get it right all the time. We going to get this right? No, sorry. Paranormal investigation. I don't like to use the word ghost hunting because I'm not Elmer Fudd and I'm not out to kill the wabbit. So, Jake, as long as you're there with me, I don't want to go into too many details, but I kind of want to talk about the Farrar School.
Sure.
Without giving a whole bunch away.
Sure.
So we're part of a thing that's going on at the Farrar School, and we were up there. Was it 2 weekends ago?
Yes.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. So, what's up, Mr. Larry? So 2 weeks ago, we were up at Farrar. Had a blast up there. Set up a bunch of cameras. Did a walkthrough. It was colder than hell up there. I think it was colder in the building than it was outside, to tell you the truth. So one of the parts that we did, and I hope I say this right, Jake, you're going to have to help me out on this. I think it was called the Gonsfeld experiment.
Yep, Gonsfeld.
Gonsfeld, okay. So it was a blast. It was something I've never tried, and I plan on using it. Everybody that's listening and everybody that watches it, you should give it a try. It's completely different. What you want to do, first of all, and hold them up, but I can't find my safety glasses right now. Try getting a pair of safety goggles, the old-fashioned ones that go, big strap on the back, and then either with white tape or spray painting white. You can't see through them. You can see light pass through them, but you can't see through them. Then what you want to do is you want to put on a set of headphones that is putting white noise. You can download any white noise generator for your phone or for app. It's just noise. You want to block out your noise. You want to wear headphones, not earbuds. You want to cover the entire ear if you can, because it's better, because then it blocks out your back, the hearing part that nobody realizes is back here. If you rub the back of your neck, you can hear that real well. You can hear more. You want to cup the whole ear, block out the whole thing. Turn on that white noise, and then about 5 feet in front of you, if you can, you want to put like a red light just right straight into your face. Turn off all the other lights. Now, the original Gonsfeld experiment was to test telepathic communication. One of the things they used to do is they'd have a person in one room with the white goggles, earphones, white noise playing, and that light shining in their face, so they can't hear anything, they can't see anything. And what they do is they'd have a person in another room concentrate on, say, a playing card or three different cards. You pull just 3 random cards out of the deck, and they concentrate on those cards and pick one of them and try to kind of more or less telepathically get that picture of that card into that person in the other room's mind and see if they can yell it out. Now, we watched a bunch of stuff on this, and the way I understand it, they started noticing a different phenomenon happening. Every now and then, that person could go, Ace of Spades, and that was the card they were holding, or 2 of Diamonds, or 5 of Clubs, whatever. But they started noticing things pass in front of their eyes, shadows, or they feel something touch their neck, or they actually hear someone talking to them. What the kind of the whole aspect of it was is you're blocking out your big senses, your sight and your hearing. But you're only blocking your sight out part way. You can still see this. Oops, sorry, hit my mic again. You can still see this bright light of red. See if you see a shadow pass in front of it. Something move, blocks out that light, or just something comes up and moves. Or you you feel that touch on the back of your neck. What's up, Henry? You feel that touch on the back of your neck, or like what I felt, and from what I understand, I have to admit, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't listen to the rules. You were supposed to yell out what you were feeling. Whether it was somebody next to you, somebody standing behind you, you're choking. And we had some people kind of play, in front of us. Jake was there, a couple other people there going, like when I was in the chair saying, he's right there. He's vulnerable. Now's your time to sit with him. Now's your time to touch him. Now's your time to talk to him. And somebody said something, I don't know who said it, Jake, but somebody said something like, choke him if you can. See if you can make it hard for him to breathe. And the video we have of it, you can kind of see my head twitching a little bit. Yeah, it actually felt like somebody was choking me, which was weird. And then somebody kicked my leg and scared the crank out of me. It was the weirdest feeling, right in my shin. Made my leg jump back as hard as it could. It was kind of like, okay, he couldn't see that, but he sure felt it. You're damn right he sure felt it. And I am kind of hurt. We're going to try this again. Let's see, we're going to try it. We have some other stuff coming in. If you're with us and you go out in Ghost Hunts USA, and you're going to be out there listening or going on with an investigation with us, I'm going to try to put a small kit together. I don't know if anybody else is going to do it, so I can actually do this experiment with people. Go to Missouri State Penitentiary and put someone in dungeon in one of the cells with that bright light and those goggles and those headphones on, where they can't hear anybody else, and see how they feel. See what they see. See if they get anything. You want to be in there for a good... They say 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long time when you're sitting there all by yourself. You're kind of cut off from everything. Cut off from sight. Cut off from sound. You don't know if anybody's trying to come up near you. It's like I said, it's a totally different experience. Try it. Look it up first and try it. Try the baby powder experiment if you go into a location. What's up, Shannon? I hope little one's feeling better. Try the baby, try that Gunsfeld experiment. Try the baby powder experiment. Try little things. Put an ink pen on the floor. Put marbles. Put little tiny things around. See if anything will come up there and move around. See if you can get anything to move around, or you can get anything to try to manipulate what they have in front of you. It's fun to do, but remember, protect yourself. Do what the right thing is. Don't just go in balls to the walls and not know what the hell's going on. So you want to make sure you're safe. I guess that's what the biggest part of the show is making sure you're safe. Jake, what's some of the things that you use to protect you while you're on an investigation?
I have one pendant that the only time I wear it is on investigations. I don't wear it any other time. And that's really it. I mean, I do things a little bit differently than other people, and I think that can be a totally different show. But I do always bring the one pendant. Depending on where we're going and how I'm feeling about it, I might bring different stones for different reasons. There have been times where I've had to meditate right in the middle of an investigation because things are getting kind of crazy. I mean, it's all just finding out what works for you, like you said before, because what works for one person may not work for another person. And that being said, like if you're with other people, look out for them. If they look like they're having a hard time, check with them. Make sure they're doing okay. Make sure that they're not in a situation that they shouldn't be in. Because particularly with our group and the way we have things set up behind the scenes, with things that get done before we go on our investigation, and what we have to do is just really make sure that everyone's on their game and everyone's all right, because if we don't, the way that we all connect ourselves to each other, if one person goes down, we're all vulnerable.
True. Way true.
So that was my big thing, is don't just look out for yourself, but look out for your teammates and your group mates too, because hopefully they're people you know somewhat well, so you can look at them and tell if something's wrong. Like Bill, I can look and see on your face if something's wrong. And I've done it before. Like we were talking before the show started at Beatty Mansion. There were I could see on the look on your face that something was happening, and I know that you're the type of person that's not necessarily going to open your mouth and say something right away. And I'd never push you to do that, but yeah, I'm going to check in and make sure you're okay.
Yeah. You brought up a good point. One of the big points being, it doesn't matter. You could be in the middle of an investigation. If you have to stop and do that meditation or do something because you don't feel right, then do it. You've got to protect yourself at all times. So that it makes it. You're absolutely right, Jake. You have to watch out for everybody else. You have to watch out for what's going on around you. You have to watch out for yourself. But if you see something that isn't right, or you see somebody that's not acting right, or something just doesn't look right, bring it up. Don't just keep it quiet. That person could be in trouble. So, I guess, again, the biggest thing on the show tonight is to be as safe as possible. Keep yourself safe. I've never tried the whole imagine layers of mirrors around you to push that white light, reflect it back into the world, but I might have to give that one a chance. Might have to give that a shot. I wonder if I can use that at work to repel certain people. I don't know if that'll work. We'll have to try to figure out whether that works. It might be nice to try. Maybe I have to try that one. But again, yeah, and Henry said it right on here. Work as a team. You guys may have heard every now and then I've got our producer keeps jumping in and talking to me and saying, pick up. So it's messages towards me, so I apologize if you're hearing that. So, yeah, again, watch out for your team. Watch out for what you do. The only other thing I can say is, on the safety side of it, is also know your equipment. Know what you have. Know how to use it before you go in and use it. Know how to hold an EMF detector the correct way. Know how to operate the equipment that you have. Because if you don't know how to use it the right way, there's a possible chance that you're not going to get what you think. And know how to decipher what's real and what's not. You can be blindfolded. We do this all the time. I like to blindfold people, just taking their sight away and put them in a dark room. Not with any light on their face or anything, but just doing a little bit of sensory deprivation. Just take away that sight, to not allow people to allow their eyes to play tricks on them. I use a lot of the blindfolds that you can get from like they're the sleeping blindfolds that you can buy from Walmart or anywhere, any other medical store or whatever, Walgreens or anything. I like to use those quite a lot. Blindfold people, put them in an area where they take away their comfort level a little bit. Try it on your own. Try it when you're out in an area where you don't know. If you're one of these types of people that like to jump into an area and that you like to do old buildings, but you've never seen, it's like, I really didn't get anything. Get quietly with that blindfold on. See what happens. Well, Henry, maybe you just got to teach him. Henry says he wishes some of his guys would listen to learn how to use their equipment the right way, or use any equipment the right way. It's just whole back piece of knowing what you have, knowing your abilities, knowing when you get blindfolded and you're sitting in a dark room and you're blindfolding yourself, taking away what little bit of light you were using, whether it be off a piece of equipment or the moon's out and shining through a window. Just take away that ability to see, period. Go ahead and blindfold and just get real quiet and put more of your senses on what you feel, what you hear. That's going to be the biggest piece of it. You'll be surprised at what you can hear when you're blindfolded, or what you can feel when you're blindfolded, or what you can smell. We've done some investigations where the people come in and they go, I was blindfolded, but I could smell cigar smoke, or I could smell something burning, or so they could hear a door open or a door close, or just a creak that they never knew was there before. Try those different things. Some people I know do paranormal investigations and they do it for fun, but they're a little bit timid on what they want to do and how much they really want to try. Take a chance. You're already putting yourself in the dark. You're already putting yourself in a situation you're not comfortable in. Take that little step forward. Try it. You can always pull the mask off. You can always stop and smell the roses. I guess is the easiest way to say it. You can stop and talk about, you pull that off and kind of, if you aren't feeling right, pull yourself out of the situation. Or, if it doesn't feel right, while you're blindfolded, do that white light meditation. Pull that energy down over top of you. Put that shell around you, that bubble of warmth and light and love, and see if whatever's going on stops. Now remember, some entities are drawn to that because they know it's not going to hurt them. And they know, we can hypothesize that they know that it's not going to hurt them, that they're drawn towards it. But it will repel. It's supposed to repel the bad and let the good in. And if you're doing an area where you're trying to get an answer for something, sometimes just putting that white light out there can kind of open you up a little bit to let your vital energies go out and allow that answer to come to you. Now, I'm not saying they're going to give you the lottery numbers, because if they do, remember, I bought part of the ticket. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to tell you, this guy was murdered 25 years ago, and you're going to get the name of the person that murdered him. But I'm also not saying you're not going to get that information. I don't know how you'd let anybody know, hey, I think this person was murdered by this person. I'm not a medium. Sometimes there's mediums out there that get that information, and those people work directly with the police departments and the investigation teams that can help solve that stuff. If you've got that ability, go for it. Try it. Use it. Work with it. But if you don't, then sometimes you have to put yourself in a situation where you're not comfortable. Now, one of our viewers on Facebook Live, Henry, brought up something, and I believe this wholeheartedly. He's right. You should never hunt alone because you don't know what could happen. You don't know what could come at you. You don't know. And the not knowing is where we need to know that someone's there to have our back. When you're doing that Gunsfeld experiment, or you're blindfolding yourself and you're putting yourself in that situation, or you need to have somebody that's there watching to make sure that if it doesn't look right, they can help pull you out. They can pull you. They can come to you or start flashing a light at you or do something to get you to take that mask off or take the blindfold off and take the headphones off and just come back and go, okay, let's get out of here for a little while. Always have that protection with you. Always have at least one other person with you. Sometimes the more the merrier. Now, that's true. If you've got 4 or 5 people you're hunting with and you can stay in that group, as long as everybody's putting off that white light, you're good. You get one person, though. Just get one little person that decides, I'm not running any protection at all. I don't care. Come and take me. Do what you want. Grab me, poke me, prod me, throw me down. I've even heard these words. I'm right here. Rape me. No. That's the one person you could probably have trouble with. Because that's going to be the one person that later on is starting to talk about, I don't feel right. Or for the last 5 days, they don't call anybody. They don't talk to anybody. They don't do anything. They don't want to be part of anything because something's not right. Something's not right. Something happened to them. Don't get me wrong. I have been in that situation where I was the person that pulled away. Didn't feel right. But it wasn't from not trying to protect myself. It was something that opened up. And if you listen to our show like last week or the week before, you'll know what it was that kind of happened to me. Some things were brought to my eyes and brought in light of me that I now have to work on. And I kind of pulled away from everybody. Didn't mean to, but I did, because sometimes we also, in our own mind, have to make sense of what happened. It's hard to do. It's very hard to make sense of what happened sometimes when you don't understand it. And I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what happened to me. I didn't understand the path that seemed to be put in front of me that I'm kind of now going through. It's just that you've got to know what your boundaries are. My boundaries were crossed. Mine went the wrong way. And our own self-defense mechanism is the fight or flight. But if you fight, you're in for the fight. If you flight away and pull back, you'll pull back. I went into the fight and flight mode. I kind of wanted to fight it, but it was something I didn't know about. I've gotten better. It's been getting better week by week, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, until I have to get up and go to work. Because let's face it, who wants to go to work? I sure don't. But we all got to do that. Just know that you have people out there help you. That knowing that when you're blindfolded, or you're blindfolded and your hearing is taken away, knowing there's people there to help protect you or that can pull you out, knowing that in the back of your mind is one of the biggest protections I think you can have. You can have that all day long. You can have that at work. You can have that at home. You can have that while you're hunting or investigating. Sorry, I'm still trying to get off that hunting word. But make sure that you don't do this alone. That's the one most unsafe thing I think you can do. Is there times that I want to go sit in the graveyard by myself and just sit and see what happens? Yeah, but I probably won't never do it. It's not that I don't like graveyards. I find them very comforting and very relaxing, which is really weird. I find that they're some of the most relaxing places I can go to. Worst thing they can usually find at a graveyard is the bugs flying around because they're mosquitoes. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't like bugs. I don't mind them. I just don't like when they bite me. Big welts, and we'll go to that. I just think that there's too many people that we've seen over the last year that we went on hunts with, that we've went on, I did it again, we've went on investigations with, or that we've taken people on tours of locations that they're almost trying to put on a front, a face that they don't normally wear, or I gotta be all big and Billy badass and mean. But they do it without protecting themselves. They don't have the respect. They haven't done their meditation. They don't have their talismans. They don't cleanse themselves. They don't clear themselves out. And they should. Take the time. Take care of yourself first. I know I've been saying that we need to take care of everybody around the world, but you know what? On doing this, you've got to protect yourself first. You've got to protect what you're going to be taking with you. And the biggest thing you're going to be taking with you is you. You have to go home with yourself. You're the one that has to look at yourself in the mirror the next day. I always say the only person that I have to prove myself to is the person looking back in my mirror every morning. How did I do the night before? Did I get scared? Is it something that I want to jump into right away and not? Can I go back? Because if I have a serious sense of doubt, I need to be looking at whether I need to be doing this. I have doubts all the time. Doubts of whether things happen, doubts of whether I should be doing this, doubts of whether there's locations that we should be going. I listen to other people saying we shouldn't be going there. We shouldn't be doing these things in that location. I don't feel it. Some of the locations, I've only had one location that I've ever went into, and we were there for 2 nights. One location that bothered me. Only one. All the rest I'd go back to. I'd probably go back. I'll sleep in every one of them. I think I have. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I have slept in every one of the locations that we go to. I don't have a problem with that. But one. Now, will I go back there and investigate it? I'd love to. I'd love to go back there and try some different things. I'd love to go back and just see what's going on. Is there things of the unknown that I'm not quite sure of, that I don't know exactly how to deal with what's there? Yeah. Almost every location. One particular location that really doesn't bother me, but I'm really wondering, see you later, Amanda. I'm really wondering how to deal with it. Gettysburg. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania is amazing to go hunt. I love that location because it's so vast and so huge and so many people there. There's so many things happen there. All the battles, all the massacres, everything that happened. There's just so many little things to try to tap into. It's an amazing place, but it still does get to you every now and then. Do you become emotional on hunts? I've seen people break down in tears for no reasons, feeling the sadness and feeling the pain in the location, feeling, oh my God, I got to get out of here, but I don't want to leave because I feel their pain. You know what? Come close a couple of times to kind of somewhat feeling that way. I've also come close to several times in 2 locations where it feels like, you ever been like laying on the floor or something, or laying down and you just feel like you're sinking? I get that feeling. But when I go to get up, I can't move. I'm paralyzed. Every part of my body is telling me to get up and go, get up and go, get up and go. But I can't. Until someone either touches me or talks to me. It's like you're stuck. I haven't got that way in Pennsylvania yet. There's just Pennsylvania was one of those locations where you can go out in the daylight or in the dark, no matter what. Just get quiet, listen, you'll hear things. I'm not a big believer in orbs unless I can really, really prove them or see them. And Gettysburg is where I got an orb on camera in the daylight. It was the first time I thought, oh shoot, there's a bug on the lens. So I went back and looked, and we zoom in on it, and it's this beautiful blue orb. You can see the stuff in the center, and it's beautiful. That's the only time I think I've actually ever seen an orb that and one time in Missouri, but they're the only ones I've ever seen where they're there, and I can't explain it. It's not sunlight. It's not a camera flash. It's not nothing that I can prove. It wasn't a bug. We've had too many people look at it and zoom in and blow it up and look around it. It's not a bug. It is what it is. It's an orb. That's the only thing I can explain. When you discard everything that you possibly know it can be, then if there's only one thing left scientifically, that's got to be it. Now, was there other things that it could have been? Possibly. Quite possibly. That's all. It might be all that it was. But, I don't know. There's a lot of things out there as paranormal investigators that we just need to look at and go, let's try something. Sound versus light, light versus sound, taking away your hearing, taking away your sight, putting brighter lights down there. Try anything, try everything. Try water. That'll be for another show, though. So I think we got about a minute left, and then we need to get off the air. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank Jake for being back there in the back with me. Thank Jimmy as a producer for being back there and running the show tonight. Thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you guys on Facebook Live for listening in. You guys are awesome. We'll see you here again next week. Maybe we'll talk about the water then. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. Look us up. I'll try to get some more stuff out on our Facebook page. And the only thing left to say is thank you, and we'll see you in the dark.